Welcome back, guys, to Cerebral Palsy and Fitness Podcast. As your host, David here, and I'm here with Jonathan Royle. He is a hypnotist, and he uses his abilities to help people overcome struggles in their lives. So, welcome, Jonathan.
Hi, David. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, and like we were just talking off camera a little earlier. I'm very intrigued by your ability and how you use that to help people, overcome any obstacles in their lives. How did you come about that ability?
Well, it's not some kind of it's nothing paranormal, supernatural, or anything like that. Let me get that out in the open straight away. It's the way I put it is that anybody can learn to play the piano, for example, but a lot of people may only learn to play chopsticks, that dead simple two-finger tune. But certain people will get an aptitude for it and study and become concert pianists. So it's not a special gift or anything, although it appears that I had an aptitude for it. What I do more than anything is to help people to unlock the potential that's already within them. So in truth, if you came to me as a client, would actually be doing probably more work than I'm doing in terms of getting the end result. Okay. Whether that was overcoming your habit, addiction, fear, or phobia, overcoming panic attacks, perhaps saying goodbye to depression that's held you back in the past, dealing with long-term pain issues, a whole bunch of things where the key is that most issues in life are either caused by the way our mind is working or thinking or focusing on things, or at the very least, they can be made worse
Right.
by the state of mind. Because obviously, if you've got a physical disability, just saying positive affirmations to yourself is not going to make that physical disability go away. And anyone who tries to sell you snake oil like that wants reporting to the relevant authorities well, and a whole bunch worse, frankly. But as is proven by people who get diagnosed, for example, with terminal cancer, and they're told that they've only got a few months to live, some of those people die quicker than the doctors tell them they will, because the moment they hear that C word, cancer, they see it as a death warrant. Now, in terminal cases, obviously it is sooner or later, but they just give up. They totally focus on negativity, and there's people who die quicker than the diagnosis they get. Then there's other people who are told they've only got a few months to live, and they go, "Oh hell, I've got more than a few months worth of things left on my bucket list. I'm really gonna have to get my skates on here." And they live every life, every second, in the moment, as low every second is their last, but also entertaining the idea that, you know what, doctors have been wrong in the past, maybe they could be wrong on this occasion. And then 6 months, 12 months later, they're defying medical science and they're still alive. Now, don't get me wrong,
Right.
they do tend to end up dying earlier than they perhaps would have done if they'd not got the cancer, but there are people who live considerably longer than the diagnosis they've been given. And the consistent thing when you look at these stories in women's magazines, men's magazines, on news documentaries and stuff is that the person who lived longer invariably had a more positive mental attitude. And that is the key to what I do with hypnotherapy, is helping people feel better about themselves so they can harness the positive side of their mind state, to unlock possibilities that if they were in a negative state of mind might be closed off to them.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, the fact that you do that for them and you're willing to help them unlock their true potential, by using that kind of technique. One of the questions I thought of is, how do you feel about, I guess, mental health in our society, and especially with our prisoners and in the prison system? That they deal with a lot. Going they I mean, there's some that are not, like fully fledged offenders, and then there's some that are
Mm.
going in for like tax evasion and stuff. But then you feel like that anxiety and that that nervousness of you're gonna go in. How do I
Well,
deal with that positivity?
I've experienced prison firsthand because, as is explained on one of my websites, circusofthemind.net, because of my attempt in 1998, so nearly 25 years ago, to expose media mogul Rupert Murdoch's now disgraced fake sheikh Mazza Mahmood, a journalist for the now shut down News of the World newspaper in
Wow,
England that got closed after hacking the mobile phone of a murdered schoolgirl, Millie Dowler. People can check out the full
wow,
details on the internet. Well, I wanted to expose the unethical and illegal techniques that Mazza Mahmood was using. And I won't waste time going into what that all encompassed. It's all on circusofthemind.net. Suffice to say, at the time, it backfired slightly and it landed me with a 6-month prison sentence. So I'd been in prison and I'd met people, and like you say, some people are in there for tax evasion. I was in with, we have a housing tax in England called council tax. You pay it each year to your local council authority, or I suppose it'd be called your local state in America, for things like them collecting the garbage and looking
right.
after the roads and stuff. And some people just couldn't afford it. And I was in prison with somebody who literally was in there because they'd not paid the council tax. So not
Oh
not not a
wow.
criminal. But conversely, I was also in prison with people. I was on the same wing as people who'd committed murder. Now, some of them were people you'd never want to go
Mm.
near, but others, they committed murder, frankly, I would say justifiably, because they found out where the person was who'd sexually abused their child.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Here in America, it's the same. They over here they don't take a lot of the prisoners here. They don't take too kindly to molesters. I think it's universal. It's everywhere.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
to me, should that person have been in prison for having attacked the person who molested their child? It's a tricky one. That the law says at the end of the day that they murdered somebody, but wouldn't you, as a parent, if you had the opportunity to get, to settle the score with someone who'd done something so horrific to your child? So it's a very difficult one. That could you really just stand back and let the law deal with it? It's. I hope you never have to find out. So there's people in prison who perhaps shouldn't be, as well as people who most definitely
Yeah.
should. I think the bigger question where you're pointing is, can people be rehabilitated? And
Yes.
I believe that certainly a lot of people can, but if there's people that perhaps have got actual mental defects, and I mean that by proper mental, proper illness, disease, or things that incline them to be psychopath, a narcissistic psychopath, then maybe you can't. But is it worth trying with the majority? I would say it would be better for society if there was more done to help people to rehabilitate. In fact, when I was in prison, in Manchester's notorious Strangeways prison, it was overcrowded at the time. It was really bad. I actually put in a request to the governor of the prison to see if I could start running motivational stress management and self-improvement classes in the evening. Now, I've got to be honest, part of my desire to do that was it would have got me out of my prison cell for another hour.
Of course.
Okay. But also it would have helped people. But the thing was, the governor wrote back to me. I got a note back from the governor saying, thanks, it sounds like a great idea, except you're in a prison surrounded by a lot of people who were very in what was his words, including thieves and robbers and other criminals who are quite ingenious already. And I don't feel that giving them motivation to fulfill their potential more is necessarily appropriate, because it might help them to be better criminals. And he kind of missed the point entirely, because I was trying to say, look, show them the possibilities that it doesn't have to be the same way when they leave prison. They could, actually take a different path and whatnot. And also, when I got banged up, as we call it, locked up, first day I found out I was locked up with somebody who shall remain nameless because
Of
I
course.
don't have their permission to name them, but they were on day one of cold turkey from heroin.
Wow.
Now, in prison, they do give them methadone, a heroin substitute, but then you get weaned off that as well, or at least you can choose to be. And if you choose to be, you get put in on a better wing quicker and get more privileges and blah blah. And this gentleman had quite bravely decided to go cold turkey without methadone. He saw it as an opportunity to really clean up and to start a new life. And because I could tell he was sincere about this, I actually, with his consent, his cooperation, and upon his request, helped use hypnotic techniques to reprogram his personal desktop computer to kind of take away the negative programming that had caused him to want to take the heroin to escape from the pains he was carrying around and emotional traumas. So I helped him kind of disassociate the negative feelings from there and instill good feelings, as well as gave him some pain control techniques to help get through that cold turkey period, which took just short of a week to get to kind of a more normal, clean state. I was released from prison, and later, a couple of years later, I heard from this gentleman who I'm still connected to on social media, who contacted me basically to say, hey, I'm now married, I've got children,
That's
I've got my
fantastic.
own business that's highly successful, and thanks for the help you gave me in prison. So, yeah, at first I have first-hand experience that people can be helped from the system and can end up leaving prison and totally having a turnaround.
That's fantastic. It just goes to show that if you really take the time to help someone and see potential in them, there's a possibility for them to turn it around.
There is, but the person's also got to take some action for themselves as well.
Take some
Because all I
effort.
kind of do is guide them. Most of it's done, but by themselves. I just tell them what to think or how to think it, what to do, how to do it. But they've still got to do it. It's not a magic wand. They've still got to do. And I went through things myself when I was younger. I got bullied at school because I had ginger hair. Not obvious here because I shaved it. But I had ginger hair. I got bullied over that. I got bullied over the fact that I came from a circus family. My dad was a circus clown, and I also was Britain's youngest paid circus clown at the age of 3 and a bit. So as I was growing up,
That is
I
so
got
cool.
bullied over these things, and it caused, did. Whoever said sticks and stones will break my bones, but nails will never hurt me, was talking bullshit because,
Yeah,
words are like weapons and can wound massively and deeply, especially through repetition. And it had a negative effect on my mental health. And now that I'm over it, I don't mind admitting, but just before I was about the age of 12, I lay down in the middle of the main road in Hayward where I lived at night time when it was dark in the hope that everything was going to end because this was the busiest main road and I knew the traffic wouldn't see me if I was laid down. But I actually got bored and fed up waiting because bizarrely no traffic came along. And after seeing what like forever, I stood up, walked back towards the pavement sidewalk. And as I put my foot on the sidewalk, whoosh, a big articulated lorry flew by and I felt the force of the wind and heard the noise. And I thought, whoa, I was that close to it all ending then. And in that moment, I kind of had a realization there
wow.
must be a better way. And in my research, I discovered interviews with people who jumped out of multi-story buildings to end it all because they thought things had got that bad. And the people who'd survived such attempts, they all consistently said one thing. The moment they jumped out of the window, they realized they only had one problem. And that problem was they just jumped out of the window. It put things massively in perspective. So I never tried again, but what I did do is I thought I'd kind of got it underbalanced and dealt with through self-help books I'd read and whatnot. But in truth, the underlying traumas were still there running in the laptop computer, my unconscious, subconscious mind, which is the cause of all habits, addictions, fears, phobias, post-traumatic stress disorder, the amplification of pain, if not the cause of pain itself, and a whole bunch of other things in people's lives. And it did lead to me in my teenage years to smoking cigarettes and also cannabis, to taking cocaine, drinking alcohol too much, gambling to a degree, and a whole bunch of negative manifestations that were forms of escapism from this trauma that was running in the background, and this little voice in my head saying, "You're not good enough, you're not good enough," the imposter syndrome. And then finally, I realized the techniques I'd been learning to help other people, because by this point I was actually helping people to overcome issues in their life, but I wasn't healing myself. I realized I had to, it wasn't a magic, I had to do something on myself, and I did. And now, at the age of 47, I'm 48 this coming year, I've put together every single technique that I've ever used on myself or to help other people. And I put them all together in this book, Shitnosis,
Oh,
helping
I
you get
love the
over the
title.
shit in your life and get your shit together, which
I
also
love it.
incorporates the fuck that system, which is fully unconscious conditioning knowledge therapy, honoring absolute transformation, by Jonathan Royle, which is on Amazon. And this is quite a
I
big
love
book in
it.
itself, but also it's got loads of these QR codes in, which you can
That's
scan,
so
and they
cool.
take you to interactive, virtual, online treatment sessions where I teach you and take you through techniques that you can use. And the book, instead of you having to buy different books or keep buying books, the book's got stuff in it that will apply to everyone, but it's got stuff in it that might not apply to you, but it might apply to a family member or friend. So you can always lend them the book, or you help use the techniques to help them. So you just find the section of the book that's relevant to you, whether it's a habit, addiction, fear, or phobia, panic attack, anxiety, depression, controlling pain, or if you've got a long-term health issue, the positive mind programming to get you in that positive mental state we talked about earlier, that can help your body's natural healing processes be at peak performance level. You're not going to get some kind of Jesus Christ, Lazarus miracle. I'm not claiming that. What I'm saying is, Law, that a positive mental attitude is definitely far superior outcome effect on your body than being completely depressed or anxious or stressed all the time. And that's what I aim to spread the message of in Shitnosis. So that's kind of how it all came about.
I'm gonna have to look into that myself because I've been feeling stressed out myself. So I definitely got to look at those techniques. See if it'll help me.
Well, stress is even conventional medical doctors will say stress is the biggest cause of both psychological mental health issues and also physical illness, because stress that carries on for too long can turn into organic illness in the body, which in itself proves that the mind and the thoughts it generates can cause physical illness. So perhaps it is possible, as Dr. Bruce Lipton says in the book, The Biology of Belief, to think yourself physically healthy. But whether it is or it isn't, at the very least, you can certainly stop yourself getting any worse and help balance
Yes.
things out so that you
Right.
feel better, which is better than nothing. And one thing you can do that is scientifically proven is through mind power and techniques that are taught in Shitnosis, you can get your mind to instruct your body to release its natural feel-good chemicals of dopamine and serotonin, the body's natural painkillers, so that possibly people on long-term medication may be able to reduce, with their medical doctor's intervention, never do anything without seeking proper medical advice, may be able to reduce their intake of painkillers, or moving forward, keep them at the same level, because the top up they might have needed if they didn't know these techniques could be done through mind power alone.
That's fantastic. Like I'm already like intrigued, but like I said, I'm intrigued by what you overcome, and like even the book itself, it's like it's fascinating, with all these ideas and these techniques. And so going back to your circus days, how long were you involved in that with your family?
Well, I mean, by family link, I'm still involved in so much as my family's still a circus family, obviously. But personally, I was performing from about just over 3.5 years old. I was Flap, 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 the clown, Britain's youngest paid circus clown on Gandhi's Circus here in England. So that was late 1978, to put a year on it. And I kept doing that until I was almost 10. So about late 1984, early 1985, middle 1985, when I was almost 10, when I refused to carry on performing as Flap the Clown, because by then I'd decided that the reason I was getting bullied so much at school was because I was doing the clowning.
Hmm.
So I figured if I stopped putting the red nose on, silly makeup, silly hat, and all that, the bullying would stop. And by then, I developed through my hobby of magic, conjuring tricks, a magic act. So I thought the love and appreciation I felt from an audience by them clapping and laughing at the right times, I could still get that, but by performing a magic act as me, no clown persona. And I thought that would stop the bullying. Unfortunately, when I started appearing in the press as a magician, I still got jealousy from the school kids,
Oh
and I still
man.
got bullied. So it didn't actually solve the issue. But that is when I stopped doing the clowning and I went into magic. So I mean, for example, I used to do tricks like, here's a deck of playing cards, okay, and we call them playing cards, these ones, because these are like you get at the printers before the faces and the backs are printed on. That's how they look, blank.
That is pretty
Now,
cool.
if I'm just going to have to, yeah, I'll have to hold them here so that you can see. But if I think of, for example, a back design, a blue geometrical one, then one appears. The trouble is, it's got no face. So that's not particularly much use to us. And if I think of a face like the Queen of Hearts, one appears. But unfortunately, damn, it's
Oh,
got no back. Now, what would be really great is if I could think of maybe another card, maybe the Ace of Diamonds, cut the cards,
n-
and then
no
not
way.
only but if we also had a back as well, if we also had the front, if we actually had, amazingly, and if I need to hold this in front of myself because of the virtual background we've got, and I'll try stand up so you can see. But if we actually had now
What?
52 cards and 52 backs, that would indeed be,
Wow.
make sure it's held in front of me so you can see, it would be a miracle.
That is really
Be
awesome.
like a dream come true, except the trouble is sometimes dreams turn into nightmares. And when they do, boom, suddenly we're back where we
There's not
started with a completely
no way.
blank deck of cards, completely blank on both
That
sides.
is awesome. That is
So
awesome.
yeah, that's what I changed from the clowning into doing magic, and then in a quest to find answers to my own problems, it led me to reading self-help books. And then I saw an advert in a magazine for learn to be a professional hypnotherapist and help people solve their problems, plus become a comedy stage hypnotist. So I sent off for this and I took the course. And in 1989, I became the youngest ever member of the Association of Professional Hypnotherapists and Psychotherapists. And a bit like Victor Khayyam, the shaving, the electric razor guy, I was so impressed by the course that in later years, I actually bought the rights to it. I bought the company. And I now actually run the Association of Professional Hypnotherapists and Psychotherapists that I first became a member of in 1989 and trained via my website, ultimatehypnosiscourse.com, people around the world to become hypnotherapists and help people reprogram their desktop computers.
Great, great. That's fantastic. You the good thing about your story is you've actually made something of yourself. You know, when you were, you had kind of a, up and down childhood to where you struggle with your own obstacles, making it through prison, and now here you overcome a lot, and that's awesome to see. It proves that no matter what you face in life,
You
you
should
can
never give
make.
up. The thing is, people who are suffering from depression quite often are basically living in the past, or they're looking to the future with the fear that things may remain the same as they were in the past that made them to feel depressed. And people with anxiety and panic attacks are living in fear of the future, that they might end up being scared again. But all of these things, the past and the future, don't exist. And when they do exist, they never end up being exactly the way we imagined them to be anyway. Now, that in and of itself is not enough to cause somebody stopping themselves from getting in that negative state. No, it isn't. If it was that simple, nobody would have panic attacks, anxiety, or be stuck in depression. However, there are dozens of techniques in SHITNOSIS, helping you get over the shit in your life and get your shit together, that help you to, through repetition and daily rehearsal and routine, develop a new mindset and a new way of looking at things, so you live in the moment and you come to realize and truly believe that any fear you may have is actually just false evidence appearing real, or false evidence against reality. So instead of doing what you did in the past, which was to fear everything and run, FEAR, it enables you to reprogram that computer so you can face everything and rise and feel stronger each day and happier and more confident each day, with that sense of achievement growing every day as you live in the moment more and realize that the past is history, the future is a mystery, today is the greatest gift of all, which is why we call it the present.
Man, this is a great way to kind of close out the podcast. I really enjoyed having you on,
Thank you,
and
David. Let me leave one more thought. It's very similar to
yeah,
the other, but imagine
definitely.
yesterday is a cancelled check. Tomorrow is a promissory note, an IOU. It may or may not happen the way you think, but today is cash. So spend it wisely, because we each have the same 86,400. I always mentally forget. Is it 86,400
Hours, I think it is, right? The
seconds
seconds.
in 24 hours? Is it? Yeah, a 24 hours is equivalent to 86,400 seconds. And we each have the same 1,440 minutes in a 24-hour period. If I gave you £86,400 or 86,400 United States dollars and told you that in 24 hours' time, your opportunity to spend that was gone completely, and your opportunity to spend it wisely and invest would be gone completely, and any money that was left, if you'd not spent it wisely, would be taken off you, I'm damn certain you would spend every penny of that £86,400, and you'd do it in a considered manner where you got something of worth for it. So why don't we do the same with our time? Because for all we know, this could be, we could go to bed tonight and never wake up and die peacefully in our sleep. That's obviously not going to happen for the vast majority of people, but one day it will. So why not live today like it is your last, but not with fear, not with stress, not with worry, but with joy and excitement and contentment that you're doing your very, very best and that you deserve that, because you do. And SHITNOSIS will help you to feel that you do as well, and feel good about yourself, and turn off that little voice in your head that says, I'm not good enough, or is that little voice that's been putting you off from doing things that deep down you've always wanted to do. Well, you can, through taking action and working on yourself, make those things happen, because If I gave you a red hot poker to hold on to, and you wouldn't walk around with it for the rest of your life. You go, that's hot, and you get rid of it as quick as you could. And yet people walk around and carry with them self-blame, shame, guilt, regret, remorse, fear, frustration, anger, and resentment of things that have gone past or things they fear may happen. And all that's doing is burning them in the same way as keeping hold of the poker is. You need to forgive, accept, and release and let go so that you can be totally free and happy in life.
I love that. I love that, man. Like I'm gonna have to talk. If you guys are listening right now, please watch this episode, because you're gonna get some knowledge from Jonathan here towards the end. And you guys gotta check out SHITNOSIS. You guys gotta check out the book. I'll be checking it out myself. So I'm looking forward to it. And where can you
And there's
find
a
the book?
free, they can find the book, Shitnosis, Helping You Get Over the Shit in Your Life and Get Your Shit Together by Jonathan Royle, which is Royle at the end, from Amazon and all major booksellers. But if you can order it from Amazon, because that way I make about $1 extra. So I'll make about $3 instead of getting $1 if it sells from other books. It's never going to make me rich, but hopefully it will help a lot of people. And if you want a free virtual hypnotherapy session, interactive, I put a free video, a link to a free video, along with details of my career resume and everything else if people want to contact me, on my website, Magical Guru, that's MAGICALGURU.co.uk.
All right. I mean, that's a lot of information for us to take, but it's important. If it helps you, go for it, right?
Exactly. Sometimes those things we thought in the past to be difficult to achieve can prove themselves to be ridiculously easy, but you've just got to start a process and do it a little bit every day. Something that seems impossible to achieve, don't think of it as impossible. Break it down into tiny bits. It's like that old jokey question: how do you eat an elephant? Piece by piece.
Yep.
Inch by inch. It's a cinch.
Yeah, it's like I forget the saying. I think it's you take an inch but you walk a mile.
Mm-hmm. And the Chinese philosopher Tao Su, I think it is, said the journey of 1,000 miles starts with but a single step. Before we started, I made a prediction in this deck of cards, and I turned one card the other way in the pack. So I've just one card face down in the deck. Now, we've not set anything up, have we, David? We've not prearranged anything. No. I've not asked you to do anything. So name any playing card, any one of the 52 cards that you think I may have turned around in the deck the wrong way. Any card, which one?
The Ace of Spades.
The Ace of Spades. Here's an interesting thing. I'll keep this very carefully in front of my teacher so that it's in view at all times, but also so it doesn't get blurred by the virtual background. Keep these cards very visible at all times as in fact, we'll just add a little, we're looking for one card that is the other way. In fact, I'll just put that there. There's one card in the deck, only one card that is the wrong way around. And that one card could have been any one, but amazingly, somehow, David, you got it right.
No, no way. What?
The Ace of Spades. Ta-da!
Wow. That is. Wow, I'm in shock. Wow.
Magic is as real as you want it to be, but you know what the real magic on this planet is what you can achieve when you set your mind to it. Roger Bannister's a great example. He was the first person to break the 3-minute mile. I think it was I'm having a mental block now. 5-minute mile, 3-minute mile. Do you know what? I really hate it when I have this brain fart moment. I'm actually just going to write in here Roger Bannister, and it is the 4 minute mile. Okay, he ran the first less than 4 minute mile, so it was neither 3 nor 5. 4 minute mile. He was the first person to do it. Okay, people didn't believe it was possible, and yet the moment he'd done it, over the next week, somebody else did it. And then over the next fortnight, several people did it. And then over the next month, a whole ton of sports people did it. They didn't suddenly become superhuman. They didn't suddenly get extra physical strength. They were all at the same level of fitness and athletic ability as Roger Bannister. The one thing that changed was the fact of the state of mind, and that they suddenly believed it was possible to achieve because they'd seen somebody else do it. Well, guess what? You can be your own Roger Bannister. You don't have to see somebody else achieve it first. You can be the one who does it first, and Shitnosis can help you do that.
Yes. Yes. Like I said, this episode's been wonderful. I've actually had a lot of fun with you. I've actually, I need a good laugh today. So thank you for enlightening us here and making us laugh today, and showing us a couple of your tricks and sharing your life story with us. And
thanks for having me on, David. It's appreciated, and it helps me obviously spread the word to help people help themselves.
Definitely, and I wish you all the best, and we'll definitely keep in touch, for future events. And if you guys want to find this episode, you're going to find it on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and every other major podcasting outlet out there. Jonathan, thank you so much, my brother.
Please, if you got any worth out of this at all, the way you can thank me most, aside from helping yourself and getting a copy of Shitnosis, is to share this video or the audio podcast far and wide so more people hear it and see it, and like it on the platforms you see. That way more people will find out about David's Cerebral Palsy and Fitness channel. Both of us would appreciate it massively.
Thank you. And Jonathan, until next time, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
And thank you guys for listening to this episode. And until next time.